Getting the low end correct in your mix is extremely important. The best way to get this right is to start out by actually taking the kick from your reference track. And AI stem splitting allows this to be possible. Now, there's a few things we need to do to get it just right, but I'm going to show you what they are right now. And at the end of this video, I got another killer Ableton tip, so make sure you watch it all the way through. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so here we have the whole stack that we made in the last video. All right, we got the full song here and the drum stem here, and that's really all we're interested in today. All right, so we could just mute everything else. Here's what they sound like. Awesome. All right, they sound pretty darn good. We got the kick and the snare really loud. We hear the hi-hats, and then there's that little percussion thing in the background, which is a little phasey, but not super important. And today we're really gonna be focusing on the kick. So we have to isolate the kick. Now, if I just use this kick as is, you'll hear that there is a hi-hat layered in there. Okay, we don't want that. That's not gonna help us. So we have to actually clean this kick up a little bit. We've come up with a great way to do that. Okay, I've made a rack called AI Drum Lifter. I'm gonna pull that in and we can take a quick look at it. All it is a bunch of ozone imagers, okay? And all they're really doing is isolating different frequencies. And the reason that I'm using ozone is because we've found this has the best phase relationship when you do the crossover points. All I'm doing here is I've got the top one set to around 4,000 and above. Okay, I've got the bottom one set to around 160 and below. And then obviously everything here is in the middle. And all I did was solo the ones for each of the different layers. Like this is the high layer. If we go into the mid layer, you'll see that that one is soloed, and the same thing with the low. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our kick and we're gonna just copy it on down anywhere here. First of all, let's go in and make sure everything's lined up. It is, okay? We don't really need this doodad at the end because that's where the hi-hat comes in. So this is basically our kick right here, and we can make sure we don't have that fade in there because that will mess up our transient. All right, so now that we've got our kick basically looking right, we can go ahead and copy it down a couple of times. Let's go ahead and turn this off and we'll just focus in here. So now this should sound just like it did up here. But what we're gonna do here is get rid of that hi-hat. So let's turn the grid off. We learned last week that was Command 4. All right, and the first thing we're gonna do is just kind of bring this guy really tight to the transient because that's really all we need from that. And that's gonna get rid of the hi-hats. Okay, so now we have a little bit of overlap here with the body. Yes, let's pull this guy in somewhere around there. Okay, now we got ourselves a super clean kick, which is exactly what we're looking for. By the way, if you haven't seen my video where I introduce what AI stem splitting is and show you guys how to import and multi-warp those stems in Ableton with a sick leader follower hack, make sure you check out this video. I'll put a link in the description. So now we're gonna wanna print it, but we're gonna notice that it doesn't come out exactly right. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up a new audio track and we're just gonna route in the drum lifter. Switch on the arm, and let's just go ahead and print that real fast. Okay, so if we look at it, it's just a little bit different than this guy, right? We're missing this little clipped thing here. Everything else looks pretty darn good, but I wanna get everything to look as good as possible, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up a little bit more to get that guy in there. So let's see if that works. All right, so now when we drag it up, we can compare the two and see that they are exactly the same. Finally, we're gonna wanna go ahead and save this. So here's a really cool hack that I'm sure most of you guys don't know. First off, let's just go ahead and pull that out. All right, here is our kick now. So here's the cool hack. Now, let me digress 1 second. We're gonna go into our preferences here with Command comma. Okay, I'm gonna go over to the record, warp, and launch tab, and we need to make sure at least one thing is active. We wanna make sure that you have this set to wave, okay? Great. Once you have that set, you may have to restart your Ableton, but we'll be good after that. And we can name it. All right. And here's the trick. What you're gonna do is simply consolidate it with Command J. This bypasses the need to export it. Check this out. If you go over here to your current project, you go to Samples, Processed, Consolidate, here is your waveform that we just made, and drag it anywhere you want. I actually have a folder where I put my AI kicks in here and lifted AI, boom, okay? And then it'll end up right in there. We'll scroll down. Here it is. The only thing that I like to do is just get rid of this silly little number set at the end. Command R renames, and then we could just delete all that and press return. Now we've got the waveform saved and we never even had to export. Pro tip, this is how sample packs are made, so you don't have to export every single sound that you make. If you guys have any questions on any of this, please drop it in the comments. I'll get right back to you. So that was another killer Ableton tip worthy of a sub. So go ahead and hit that button and we'll keep the good times rolling. Now we have our kick from our reference track. In the next video, I'll be showing you guys how to get the snare. Now, we can't exactly pull the snare from the reference track, but I'll be showing you guys a couple of cool Ableton tips that'll make this super easy. Also, we'll be using the reference track to match the sonic qualities exactly. If you guys do want to work with us one-on-one and learn more about this AI stem splitting, then hit the link in the description. Other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video.